Are you thinking about retirement and wondering if you'll have enough money to survive? Stay tuned for a reading to help figure it out. Hi everybody, I'm Sue Ellen Clayton. Welcome to my channel where we're learning how to read tarot one card at a time. Today we're looking at a 3-card reading to see if a woman is financially prepared for retirement. I will be using the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot, and there is a link below. This question was posted anonymously online by someone who I will assume is a woman. Her question was, will I achieve my financial goals for retirement and live a fruitful and financially stable life? It's kind of a two-part question, so I'm going to shorten it to, will I achieve my financial goals for retirement? The querent did not mention using a spread. However, I will be using the 3-card action plan spread to answer her question. Card number 1 looks at what she should start doing. The querent drew the 6 of Swords. Card number 2 looks at what she should stop doing. The querent drew Death. Card number 3 looks at the key to success. The querent drew the 8 of Pentacles. I'll begin with my first impressions. I feel like reaching her financial goals is not going to be easy and will require some significant changes in the querent's life. These will include making changes to her thoughts, as we see in card number 1. It will require some kind of a transformation, as we see in card number 2. And it will require hard work, as we see in card number 3. So let's look at each card individually. Card number 1 looks at what the querent should start doing. She drew the 6 of Swords. The 6 of Swords tells me that the querent needs to move on. She needs to accept the current reality of her less than ideal situation and be willing to make changes. She needs to leave her current thoughts and emotions that are holding her back behind her and to start over. I don't think that the woman is doing well financially, and I think this has to do with the fact that she's done a lot of emotional spending. We can see the ferryman steering the boat with a black pole, which represents the unknown. The pole is in choppy water, which represents emotions. I don't think she even knows how she managed to spend so much. But the querent needs to detach herself from these emotional decisions and start looking at her financial situation more logically. Something else she needs to do is take charge. She's letting someone else steer her boat and choose her direction. She's not even looking at where they are going. This could be a romantic or business partner that participated in the poor financial decisions or, alternatively, didn't push back against them. The querent needs to accept responsibility for her financial situation and initiate the changes required to change her course. In front of the querent, who is wearing the orange cloak, we see 6 blue and white swords pointing downward in the boat. Most of the sword is a cold blue color, which represents that it is about cold, unyielding facts. Yet she's looking at the boat instead of the swords. I don't think she wants to think about what has happened, but she needs to. The woman's dull orange cloak shows a lack of energy. The fact that her head is covered and downward indicates that she's lost in her thoughts. Her feet are touching the swords, and if she looks up, she will be reminded of her problems. The child's cloak and the sky are both gray. Gray is the color of uncertainty, thoughts, and contemplation. This tells me that she needs to do some thinking. This is not a sunny day, so we know that her thoughts are difficult. In summary, the querent needs to leave her emotional spending patterns behind. She also needs to start looking at her financial situation logically and to take charge of the situation. Card number 2 looks at what the querent needs to stop doing. She drew Death. Death is an appropriate card as it symbolizes things in life that need to end. This might be addictions, bad habits, an unfulfilling career, the location where you're living, or an unhealthy partnership. In terms of the querent, she needs to take a serious look into her habits, behaviors, and decisions that will keep her from reaching her retirement goals. I think a big one is housing. One of the meanings of the previous card can be moving, and we can see the boat is taking her to a distant shore. I believe that the querent needs to give up her current home. It could be that she's renting and should be buying, or vice versa. It could be that she's living in a very expensive area or a very expensive home and needs to find something more modest. Maybe she's living alone and needs to find a roommate to share the expenses. Whatever the situation, I think that the querent's first action is to make changes to her living situation. Boats are a mode of transportation, and that is the second thing the querent should consider. Can she afford her car? Or is she spending so much on ride shares that it would be cheaper for her to buy a vehicle? The next thing the querent needs to stop is with frivolous or emotional spending. For me, it would be books, quilt fabric, and plants. For the querent, it might be eating out, designer clothing, and vacations. She also needs to examine habits and addictions that are draining her finances. Perhaps she should stop spending money on fancy coffees, alcohol, marijuana, or lottery tickets. It might also be time to seriously cut back on things like her gym membership, streaming services, or visits to the nail salon. The final thing that the querent needs to get rid of are things in her life that aren't fulfilling. I expect that retail therapy is a way that she's coping with her unhappiness. Maybe it's time for her to look for a new job or to rethink her current romantic relationship so that she doesn't need to spend money to cover up her unhappiness. The death card tells me that these are not easy fixes. However, death is also a part of the circle of life and needs to be addressed. The final card in the reading is the Eight of Pentacles. Before we discuss it, if you're getting benefit from this video, I hope that you'll take a moment to subscribe. It's free for you, and you'll get notified when I post new videos so that you don't miss anything. It will also help me to grow this channel. Card number 3, the Eight of Pentacles, looks at the key to success. In the Eight of Pentacles, we see a young man straddling a workbench. He has a hammer in his right hand and a chisel in his left hand, and he's working on a pentacle. There are 6 pentacles of various sizes displayed on the tree, which demonstrates that he's skilled enough to make multiple sizes and is proud of his work. A 7th pentacle is on the ground, likely discarded because it contains a mistake. This card tells me that success requires the querent to work hard and to learn some new skills. First, let's talk about hard work. Take a look at the apprentice. He's literally making money. He's not working in the local Starbucks where he can drink lattes and chat with his friends. He has deliberately taken himself far away from the village. He's not watching YouTube while he's working. He's got only the tools that he requires. His head is down. He's extremely focused and he's striving for perfection. This is what the querent needs to do in order to reach her retirement goals. She needs to stay focused, work hard, and to make progress every day. The Eight of Pentacles also signifies that the querent needs to learn some new skills. It could involve getting more education or training so that she can get a promotion at her job. However, I think it's more likely that the key to her financial success is learning more skills related to money. This could include ways to reduce her debt, budgeting, buying groceries that are on sale, or learning DIY skills that will help save her money. Recently, I had the oil changed in my car and it cost $90. I was ready to do that old person thing and say, I remember when oil changes were $30. And then I stopped myself. It's not a huge issue because I don't put too many miles on my car. However, my son and his wife drive a lot, and my son learned how to change their own oil. It saves him a few $100s a year. If the querent did that, the savings could go into her retirement fund. I think if she thought about it, there are a lot of ways she could save money. She can take her lunch to work instead of eating out. She can wear clothing that can be washed at home so she doesn't have to pay for dry cleaning. And she can clean her own house rather than paying for a cleaner. Another new skill is thinking differently about money. The querent needs to remind herself how many hours she has to work to pay for things. I do this all the time. The minimum wage where I live is $16.50 an hour. I was at a medical specialist the other day, and a guy's copay was $100. If he earned minimum wage and you take off taxes, he had to work for 8 hours to see the doctor. That's a lot. If the queer is able to work hard and learn new skills, I think that she'll be able to turn things around and achieve her financial goals for retirement. I hope that this video will help you to conduct a reading for yourself or someone else. Please leave a message if you'd like to share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.